Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Westie Parent Podcast. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm Miruna. I have my Westie puppy here with me, Sami. For those of you who are watching this, and if you're just listening, then I have Sami here next to my armchair, and he's just really, really cute. And he just put his chin on the arm of my armchair, and he is just adorable as usual. So today I thought I would tell you a little bit about how me and my husband decided to have a Westie. Why not another dog? Why did we get a Westie? And the idea actually came to me from a question that somebody asked us on our YouTube channel. So I'm going to read the question. It's from Radio Stefan. And he says, "Hey guys, Westie owner in Canada here. I'd love to know why you decided on picking a Westie before you got Sami. And also, are Westies a popular breed in Portugal?" Portugal is where we live. If you missed our previous episode, I talked very little about it. Me and my husband Bobby, we're from Romania and we lived in Ireland previously. We travel a lot, and seven years ago-ish, we moved to Portugal. So this is our home. We are in Portugal, and I'm actually going to answer the second question first because it's just easier. It's a shorter answer. Are Westies a popular breed in Portugal? No, I'm sorry to say they are not. In fact, in all these years that I've been here, I probably met, I'm not even exaggerating, it was maybe 10 Westies in total. So there is one in this city where we live right now. There's one that I met a few times, so I know that he lives here. But other than that, unless you go to Lisbon, which is the capital, and there's more traffic, and there are quite a few Westies there. But everywhere else I've been, I haven't really met or seen any Westies on the street. And even, for finding a groomer that does hand stripping is a little bit difficult. If you don't know, hand stripping is a technique of grooming that is recommended for Westie terriers and for other dog breeds that have 2 layers of hair. It's basically a coat that is made of 2 layers. And anyway, hand stripping is where you pull out the dead hairs. And Sami, since he was a puppy, I took him to a groomer that does hand stripping because I know that it's healthier for the skin if you do that. And it is really difficult to find one in Portugal, which only goes to show that there aren't that many Westies. And, if I compare it to France, for example, or even Spain, whenever we travel to Spain or France or even Italy, I think I've met quite a few Westies there. And especially France, they just have a love for this breed. And there's even a comic strip. I don't even know if it's an animated movie and a comic strip with a Westie that is called Milou. And that was before my time. So, if I think it was in the 70s or 80s, I'm not really sure. But I only know about it because every time we go to France, there will be someone looking at Sami and calling him Milou. And it took me a while to learn why, but it seems that they have this famous Westie from this comic strip called Tintin. So yeah, the French are really crazy about Westies. That's my conclusion. The Portuguese, not so much. So no, Westies are not that popular here in Portugal. Which makes Sami even more special. I'm kidding. I would love to have more Westies around. I would love, love, love. So if you live in Portugal and you have a Westie and you're listening to this, please send me a message or an email or comment to this podcast and let me know, and let's do a play date. I would love to meet you. How did we decide on picking a Westie before we got Sami? Well, um, it was a decision that wasn't from the beginning. So it was 2018. We had just moved to Portugal after a long time traveling. We lived in Ireland for a year, and then we spent about 6 months traveling. And then we moved here and we decided, okay, we're going to stay here for a while. It might be time to get a dog. Now, me, I always wanted a dog. I never had one, not even as a kid growing up, because we lived in an apartment and I guess it was difficult. So I always dreamt about having a dog. So I knew that I needed to have a dog. That was something that I really wanted. And I felt like, okay, this seems like the right time. We both work from home, both me and my husband, Bobby. We work online. So, it was easier, I guess, to have a dog when you can spend a lot of time with them. So 2018, let's get a dog. Now, I wanted a big dog. Because I don't know, I had this idea of having like a big breed, like a Labrador or a German Shepherd or something like that, uh, which would have been a nightmare in an apartment, and a rented apartment where probably we wouldn't even be allowed to have a big dog in there. And now Bobby, because he had dogs in his life before, both big breeds and small breeds, he was like, we're not getting a big dog in an apartment where it's going to be hard. They need space. You need to exercise them a lot. And it's going to be hard to travel with them. So no, out of the question, big dog, let's not go there. Okay. So then we started talking about smaller dog breeds. And I remember at some point the beagle was on our list because we both like beagles. And I don't know exactly when down the line I thought that, okay, we travel quite a lot, being able to work from anywhere. We can sometimes travel and go somewhere and work from there. So I thought, okay, I would like our dog to come with us. Like, this is the life that I see for us. We travel somewhere, we take our dog with us. And I realized that if we want to fly, um, there's a certain weight limit to be able to take your dog with you in the cabin and not have to put them in cargo with the luggage, which is something that I read about, and I knew that it's not really safe for the dog. So I knew I didn't want to do that. And I read about it, and the weight limit seemed to be around 8 to 10 kilos for the dog to fly in the cabin. So then I started looking at smaller dog breeds so that I could take my dog with me when I fly. And there were other things that I looked at when I started, I remember reading articles, what's the best dog breed for a first time owner, like easier small dogs. And at some point I even Googled lazy dogs. Like, what are the lazy dog breeds? Because I had this idea that small dogs are super hyperactive, like on batteries. And I knew I didn't want one of those because I'm not you can probably tell by this, I'm not a high energy person. I am, I'm pretty calm. I like, calm around me. And also I'm not a very active person. I'm not outdoorsy. I like to be indoors, and I like to, sit on the couch, cuddle with my dog, and just enjoy life. Um, so I didn't really, it wouldn't have been right to get the kind of dog that would need a lot of exercise, or, who would just have too much energy. And I remember I looked at the pug and the Frenchie, the French bulldogs. They're really, really cute. I love them. And I looked into those breeds, and the reason why we didn't get one is because at some point doing my research, I was reading about the breed, and I came across this thing that breeds with a short snout, I don't know, like nose, with a short nose, they tend to have respiratory problems later down the line. And that was a little bit scary. And also, this is something I also learned when I was doing my research, is that some airlines won't even allow you to fly with these breeds with the short nose, because of, again, the problems that they might have at high altitudes. So, it was complicated. So that was a no. And at some point, looking at these, top 10 small dogs to have, like, really good dog breeds, I saw the Westie. And there was this photo of the cutest Westie, almost smiling with his tongue out, ears popping up. And I thought, this is the world's most adorable dog. Like, it has to be. This is just too cute to be real. It looks like a stuffed animal. And I remember that I didn't even know at that point, I didn't even know what the breed was called. Like, I obviously knew what they look like from the Caesar food commercials. And I knew of the breed, but I didn't know that it was called the West Highland White Terrier. But I really thought they are adorable. So I started looking into that, and the size seemed right. It's not a super small dog, but it's not too big that you won't be able to fly with them. So, and it seemed to me at the time that the Westie would be a good fit to fly with them in the cabin. If I had to recommend a breed, if you're looking to get a dog to fly with them in the cabin, don't get the Westie. We just got lucky with Sami. Like, he is abnormally small for a male. He is 8 kilos at most. And, when we fly, if he diets a little bit and I cut the treats a little bit and we skip a meal, he's around 7.7 kilos. So he's quite small. Most Westies, boys, tend to be 10, maybe 11 kilos on average. So we got really lucky. I don't know how it happened. I'm able to fly with Sami all the time so far. As he ages, he might gain a few. But yeah. So going back to the breed, I was reading about it and I thought, okay, size-wise, perfect. He looks like a big dog. Like, if you didn't know how small he is, he kind of looks like a big dog. He has this posture, like this proud stance with his ears up that look a little bit like a German Shepherd's ears, and the tail up, and they just seem to take themselves very seriously, which I like. I like it. But also, he's super cute, and they seem fun. And then I read about this thing where Westies are also known as big dogs in a small dog body, which I just thought was something so unique about a dog breed, because I had never heard of that in any other dog breed. So, and I can confirm, after 7 years of having a Westie, I can 100% confirm that they are big dogs trapped in a small dog body. The confidence and everything screams big dog. Uh, so I thought that was hilarious and I liked it. And then I looked at other characteristics, like lifespan. Okay, they seem to live around, I think it was 12 to 15 years on average, which is longer than, other dog breeds. And it's, the health problems, of course, every breed has health problems. And I think it's always good to do your research if you're going to get a dog based on the breed. So every dog breed has their health problems. The Westie comes with a list of them, and allergies are one of them. But honestly, you can't let that stop you. I remember reading about many dog breeds, and actually the Westie seemed like a pretty healthy dog, pretty sturdy, not too sensitive, not fragile at all. Like they are pretty robust and strong, which makes them, easier a little bit to, in terms of maintenance. And then, there were things like they shed very little. So you won't have your couch covered in fur, which is something that, of course, who doesn't want that? And it turns out it is true also. Sami almost doesn't shed. I do groom him every month, roughly. And I try to brush him maybe once a week. So, he doesn't really leave hair. I can wear black. And, well, I do have a few hairs on me, but I'm wearing black right now if you're listening to this. And I'm looking down. I do have a few hairs on me, but not as many, so it doesn't really bother me. And also I liked the fact that they are hypoallergenic dogs, which, I don't have any allergies, and my family, people around me, they don't have dog allergies, but I guess it's nice to have a dog who is hypoallergenic because you never know. The fact that there was this list of characteristics, and one of them was that they don't really smell, which I can also confirm. They don't really smell. It's not like having a dog is always such an amazing thing, so that even if a dog smells, I wouldn't mind, to be honest. But the fact that they don't really smell, they don't have a strong dog smell, I like that. That's nice. They don't really slobber. So they don't, the saliva, they don't drool. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. They are very, very low when it comes to drooling, which is also true. I like that. The only times that Sami ever drools is if there's a female in heat. And if he smells that, he's gonna drool a few drops, but that's it. And, all these things made me think, okay, this is the right breed for us. The moment that I sent Bobby the link and I said, hey, what do you think about the Westie? He was in love. He was like, this is the dog. Like, we need to get this dog. This dog is adorable. They are, perfect. He was actually, it was a faster decision for him than it was for me, because I'm also kind of an overthinker. I like to do a lot of research before I make a decision. And he usually is a fast, decision maker. So for him, it was, it ticks all the boxes. He's cute. Let's get the Westie. And the thing that convinced me, the thing that I thought was the cutest thing that I read about a dog breed ever, I don't even remember where it was. It was some, article online that said that Westies have the sunniest personalities of all terriers. And I thought, okay, this is like, yes, I like that. I like that. They are, and I kept reading, they're positive. They have this, positive energy. They're well, they're in a good disposition, in a good mood most of the time. They are friendly and they love meeting new people, and usually they do well with other dogs. They tend to be friendly. They are playful. They just they're like a ray of sunshine. And that was what did it. I was like, I want the the terrier with the sunniest personality. I want that. That sounds good. I can actually confirm that Sami he's friendly, first of all. So he does really great with people. He loves meeting new people. He's very, very social and extroverted. And I always joke about how I'm more of an introvert and I'm not such a people person. But I got a dog who is totally a people person. So I have days when I will just walk him and I don't really want to talk to anybody, because I'm in no mood to talk to people. And he will just go at a random stranger, wagging his tail, ears stuck to his head, wanting attention. So then I have to talk to the person because, of course, we get to interact and talk, which is funny because that's the kind of dog he is. And it's been great for the most part. I mean, thanks to that, I got to meet so many people and make friends. I actually have friends in my life today that I wouldn't have if it wasn't for my dog, that I got to meet through our dogs. So it really pays off having an extroverted dog. As for him having a sunny personality, it's true. He's mostly in a good mood. The only times that he's ever not been in a good mood was when he was sick or when his allergies acted up, which was the first 3 years of his life, I can say. For the first 3 years of his life, he's had terrible, terrible allergies. And it was a challenge learning how to manage them. So he was grumpy. Right during his puppy years, he was at his grumpiest. So he had days when he was just not in a good mood, not wanting to play. And it took me a long time to realize that it was because of the allergies. And how I realized that was that actually when I got his allergies under control with a home cooked diet, that's when he just changed and he became, I don't know, cheerful and playful, and he would want to do zoomies all the time, which he does. He wants to do zoomies almost every day. So I guess I realized that that he is he's a very cheerful dog if he's feeling well. And of course, like all of us, if you're not feeling well, you're not going to be all sunshines and rainbows. So it's the same with them. And earlier this year, he's had an injury with one of his front paws, and he would limp. And it took a while to get that fixed, with a lot of going to the vet a lot and not being able to run or, short walks. He's been on this schedule to get him well. And during that time, he was miserable. He was not his usual happy, sunny self. He was just not wanting to get up. He wasn't, when I came home, instead of coming to greet me, he would just sit on the couch, wag his cute little tail, but he wouldn't really move to come to me because he was in pain. And the moment that got better, and now thankfully he's good. We did some therapies. We're doing some therapies for his paw and he has some back issues also. And we're doing acupuncture and laser therapies and all kinds of things twice a week to get him better. And it's really, I can notice the difference. And everybody said that, it's obvious that he is feeling better. He's just back to being cheerful. He wants to play. He plays with other dogs, which he didn't used to do before, not so much. So yeah, I can confirm that he is really, a ray of sunshine most of the time. And whenever he isn't, then I know that something's wrong. And then, I start to look at the signs and take him to the vet and see what's going on. But if he's well, if he's feeling okay, and if there's nothing wrong, then he's just the cutest, the sweetest little dog. Wow. Okay. Evidence to the contrary. I don't know if you can hear he's growling right now. And he's doing that because Bobby just came in to see what we're doing. And also because it's his walk time. It's 7:30 p.m., which means I have to go walk him right now because he's getting grumpy. So that is another thing that I'm going to add to that. He's grumpy not only when he's sick, but also when he wants to walk and when he's hungry. He might be hungry now too. So we are going to wrap this up, and I hope that I answered your question as to why we chose to get a Westie. These are all the reasons why I couldn't be happier with this choice. I am afraid that having Sami is going to spoil me for life, because I don't think I want to have any other dog, like any other dog breed. And I know that a lot of people that I talk to say, oh, I'm on my 5th Westie. I've had Westies all my life. And now I see why. Because, once you have one, it's hard to go back. It's hard to have another dog breed, because they are so special and they're so unique in their, they're very similar, but also they are unique among other breeds, or at least so people say. I have nothing to compare it to, but he's just a character. He has his own mind, his own personality, his own opinions. I say this in all the videos I make on YouTube that, you never get bored with a Westie. You can't. Life is never the same. No day is the same as the other. They will find new things to surprise you with all the time. Antics and all kinds of quirks that they develop throughout their lives. So even if I've had Sami for almost 7 years now, I still learn things about him that I didn't know. I still discover things that, like today, actually, this morning, I discovered that he likes peaches. I was eating a peach, and of course, I never eat peaches. So he came to me to, of course, ask for a bite. And I did a quick Google search. Are dogs allowed to eat peaches? Very important. I do that with everything. And turns out, yes, they can in small quantities. So I give him a little piece, thinking there's no way he's going to like peaches, because he usually does. He's not so much into fruit, except for mango and papaya, which are his favorites. But he doesn't eat apples. He doesn't eat pears, bananas. He hates them. I could go on and on with how picky he is. And he just grabs the peach from my hand and chews on it. And he's like, I want more. So turns out he likes peaches. So that's a new fun thing that I discovered about Sami today. So yeah, they always surprise you. We are going to wrap up this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget, there's a new episode coming out every Tuesday. Tune in, share this with your friends or with someone that you know who loves Westies. Leave me a question in the comments, because I am planning on doing Q&A sometime in the future. and I would love to get your question. And make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Westie Vibes, and listen and subscribe to the Westie Parent Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you, and see you next time on the Westie Parent.